everybody, it's Silvana and welcome back to the channel. So, the last episode I made was updates. Hopefully you've all had a chance to take a peek at that and get all caught up with what's going on. So, let's talk about the land of writing. I believe I was talking during the updating things that I was in the editing process of the first novel. I have since then got that finished, and it has been sent to my 3 beta readers. I know it's not 100% done, that there will be some what I'm calling touch-up editing when they're done with it. But for right now, it's out of my hands, and I am officially done with it. That happened on the 1st, and I have been taking the last 3 days, the 2nd, the 3rd, and today, as time off from all things writing. I haven't written anything for the new book. I haven't done any editing. I haven't done anything. So, today, I wanted to talk a little bit about chapters. Mostly the pros, well, let's see if I can make any sense here, because I'm all tongue-tied. Sorry about that. So basically, what I'm debating between is the basic, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, like most novels have. I don't see anything wrong with that. A lot of authors use that. Perfectly fun. Or going, now I tend to think of it as the Harry Potter route, because Harry Potter is one of the first books that come to mind that do this, the named chapter. I'm not saying it's the only book by a long shot. I'm just saying it's the first book that when I think about what's a book that has named chapters, Harry Potter is the one that immediately springs to mind. And then I don't have any others that do. That doesn't mean that there aren't, like I said, that there aren't any, just that my brain can't think of them. So, I am leaning more toward just doing numbered chapters. And I know it sounds weird to say I've sent my books off to the betas without chapters. Yes, that is a thing. I did send my book as one long multi-page document to my beta readers, because I'm not quite sure where to break the chapters at. And so part of what I'm asking my betas to do, and I'll want to touch on that, but I'll come back to that, is to mark where they think the chapter should break. I will also be doing that in my copy of the file here to see where my thought of where it should break matches up with theirs. But I'm leaning toward just the numbered thing for the chapters, because I think it would be difficult to think up names for chapters that don't really give away what's going to happen and yet deal with what's going on in the chapter. So, like, if you read Harry Potter, again, like I said, it's the first one that comes to mind, and the one I can actually think of names of chapters out of. You have, like, the chapter, The Boy Who Lived. If you read that chapter, or you have read the chapter, you know exactly what that's referring to and who that is, and stuff like that. And if you have it, you have no idea what it's talking about, and yet it informs to that chapter. Or I think it's the lightning struck tower. And there's one about tea leaves, and I want to say tadpoles, but it might not be tadpoles. But again, they allude to what's going on in the chapter, but unless you've really read it, they don't really give a lot away of what's going to happen or what you think might happen due to that title of the chapter might give you like a false lead. I might not be making any sense. So let's talk the next novel. So I believe I've said before, all titles are working titles. The next that I will be rewriting is Project Night, which is the 8th book in the set. And the one I just finished, Project Ghost, is 7. I know I should be writing them probably in order, especially looking for publication. But for me, and we've talked about this before, I don't want to fight with the books. I just want to write the damn things. And so if they want to come out of order, then they'll come out of order. I'll save them on my hard drive or on a thumb drive or both, probably both, into the cloud, so where they can't get deleted, someplace like that where, if my computer crashes, they're still safe. Where until I can get to book 1. Now, the cool thing I think with that is if I get a book deal, most publishers want a book a year, and having some already done and in the background makes for a lot less pressure of, can I get them the next book in a year? But that's just me, and probably not, I don't know if that's the best way to do it or not, but like I said, I've had so much problems writing these damn things that I really don't want to fight anymore with it, so whatever it wants to do at this point is just fine with me. So that's question A of the day, for down in the section below. Do you think chapter titles? Do you think just numbered chapters? Do you have another option? Because, that could be cool. The other issue for me on all of these, and again, we've discussed this, is titles and cover art. And apparently interior art. Now, I have spoken to a friend that is an artist that is supposed to be rendering me art for Project Ghost. It's just 1 picture, although there are a total of 4 pictures in the book right now. Now, they are 2 pictures that I drew by mouse in Microsoft Paint. So, art. A picture of a grimoire from online, because that's what he's supposed to be drawing me, and a picture of what one of my characters wins at the carnival, because while I described it very well, I still don't think, especially a younger generation, is going to know what the hell I'm talking about, because it was such a kind of niche thing in the late 80s that I'm not sure they would understand, even with the description, unless I put a picture in. Now, I know because the picture is copyright from a band, that if I do get this ever published, the publisher probably wouldn't be able to use that particular picture, but in that case, I used it as an example so that they can go to their art department and get commissioned a piece of art that fits what I'm talking about without having to worry about the copyright. And the two pictures that I did in paint are the same way. They're just representations of what I'm trying to describe that I would hope that they could get better artists than I am to render. Now, the first one, which is a picture of two closets, I think I did decently well with. It needs a little swoosh, like shadowing and highlights and stuff that I don't know how to do. But overall, I think it looks pretty decent. The second one, which is the layout of the male character's bedroom from an overview, kind of like a floor plan type print out, again, is decent. It does its job, but I don't think it's quite right or what they may want to do. I feel I've described it decently well, but I also feel like those pictures may help make it a little clearer. So I'm not terribly shushed if they want to change it, as long as it looks correct. You know, that they don't completely change it, you know, where it doesn't look like what I described. I'm perfectly fine with that. The book, the reason I went to my friend, I've seen his art. It's fucking gorgeous. And I want the book, the spell book in my story to look in an extremely certain way because it's described in great detail in my writings. And so I have been a lot more choosy about that than I necessarily would be. I hate to do that, and it's not like I'm just asking my friend to do this for me for free. He will be compensated for his work. He will be credited for his work, and I will fight with whatever publisher I have to fight with, if that means publishing it myself, so be it, to have that picture as it sits put into the book, period. I'm kind of lying toward maybe even using it as my cover art, but I don't know about that. So that's the two more questions I'm gonna throw out to you guys today. We've had question A. We'll do it in order. Question 1. Numbered chapters or named chapters or something else for chapters. If something else, what? Question 2. Project Ghost, if you can't tell by the name, is a sci-fi horror fantasy paranormal. I'm not sure what the genre is. Basically, it's a haunting story. There's other stuff going on with that. There's magic and stuff like that. But at the base of everything, it's a story of a haunted house. So give me some ideas of titles for my book and some cover art ideas. If you are an artist and you want to submit art for the cover, I would normally, if this was self-published, I'd say go ahead and we would come to some agreement on what compensation and what what kind of call out do you want in the book? I'm saying that wrong because my brain's having problems with words today. How you want it credited to you in the novel. Since we'll be looking at getting this traditionally published first before we go the self-publishing route, because I'd really rather not do that. I'd really rather publish it traditionally. I'm basically looking for ideas to tell their art department, because I have no idea how cover art for books work. So that's my final question. If you are a writer and have published a novel, comment down below or private message me and let me know how the ever living hell does a publisher deal with cover art. Do they read the book and pick something out of the book to put on the cover? Do they ask you what you want on the cover? Do they just base it on what kind of genre it is? And who picks that? Do I pick that? Do they pick that? Who picks that? Anyways, I've rambled on long enough. I want to thank all you guys for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, all that stuff. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and do all the do's below. And I hope you guys have a great day.